What's up everyone, my name is Eva. Welcome back to Polar Topics. Today we're looking at Am I the Jerk? And before we get into this video, I'd like to remind everybody to like, comment, and subscribe. And for this subreddit, we are going to have polls. So please, share your opinion, comment, let us know what you think and how you feel about these posts. Am I the a-hole for wanting to install a fence? I just moved to a new state and I'm having a lot of issues with my neighbors. They are kind of a mean girls club. They're always in our private space, using our trash and recycling bins, blocking our mailbox, etc. Our house is built so strangely. We're on a cul-de-sac and we're in the bottom of the U. Our house is built on a lot diagonally. This gives us a really small, narrow, and strangely shaped backyard. We have 4 kids and want a dog. There's a big bush that needs to be taken care of in the front lawn, but it looked like it was on my neighbor's property. So before we went to work on it, I decided to find out our property lines. I hadn't been supplied any information on this when we bought the house. It turns out our lot is huge. You wouldn't know it because of how our house was built, but our neighbors, who both have enormous lawns and have lived there forever, are actually each using a ton of our space. Most of it is ours. One of them even extended their driveway onto our land. We want to build a swing set, put in an above-ground pool, and get a dog. I also want to have a pretty extensive garden. Where we moved from, everyone has a privacy fence. Where we moved to, it's either hit or miss. I see it in some neighborhoods, but nobody on our street has one. There's no house behind us and there is no HOA. Am I the a-hole for putting up a fence so we can utilize all of our space and so my kids can play freely and so I can have the privacy I want? No, you are absolutely not the a-hole. In no way, shape, or form. They are the ones on your property, but at the same time, since they already have things on your property, you might want to contact a lawyer to see what they have to say, considering, well, yes, it is your property. For the longest time, they have considered it their property, so I don't know what would happen if you try to just take what they consider to be their property. Am I the a-hole for not sharing inheritance with deceased brother's ex-wife and kids? So, my life has been turned completely upside down over the last few weeks. For the record, I'm 21, and my brother, 28, just passed away. Up until a few years ago, my brother was living at home with me. He put all of his savings speculating on cryptocurrency when Bitcoin was around $300, and ended up selling out just before the peak. He owned lots of Bitcoin along with other coins he told me about. I don't know how much he made originally, but it was probably in the 5 to 10 million range. Anyway, shortly after cashing out, my brother moved out, and we heard less and less of him. A few weeks ago, we found out he passed away after using crystal meth. Obviously, this was a massive shock, as the brother I knew never did drugs, other than occasionally smoking cannabis. To cut a long story short, surprisingly, he had a will despite his age, and left almost everything to me. This includes a house worth $800K plus, and almost $4 million in cash/stock. This dispute is between me and his ex-wife. He has 2 kids with his ex-wife and didn't leave her anything. He put $500,000 into a trust to be paid to his kids, split 50-50, when they turned 30. But that's it. He never saw his kids because his ex-wife wouldn't let him, so I guess that's why he left everything to me? Anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. The point is that I didn't plan on sharing any of this with his ex-wife. In my opinion, the $500,000 he left his kids in a trust is more than enough to give them a very comfortable life. He left me the rest of his money, and I intend to spend it all on myself and my future kids. Parents think I should at least give the house to his ex-wife, so that my niece and nephew have a stable home life. Ex-wife obviously wants as much as I'm willing to give. He didn't leave our youngest brother, 16, anything. So I intend on paying for all of his college, etc., so that he at least receives something. Am I the a-hole for being too greedy here? No, OP, you are not the a-hole in this situation. Your brother left you the money. If she wants to come after you, she can, but she left you the money. That is the end of the story. He left money for his kids as well, so he doesn't really owe them anything as far as I'm concerned. So in my opinion, no, you are not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for telling strangers who ask about my pregnancy that I'm not pregnant, even though I am? I'm hitting 20 weeks pregnant, so I'm getting a baby bump. Honestly, it's not super noticeable with how I dress, and I could probably still have people thinking I'm just a bit fat / had a big lunch. I work in a public-facing job, dealing with a lot of people in a day, and recently I've had a few people, mostly older women, randomly ask, "When are you due? Is this your first?" I don't think these are particularly appropriate questions to ask a stranger, especially one who's trapped at work, so I've taken to replying with, "I'm not pregnant." I'm careful not to sound angry or offended in my tone. I've gotten my boss's full blessing to do this. She thinks it's hilarious. The reason I'm wondering if I'm being an a-hole is because I also get a bit of a kick out of people being clearly mortified. but I also don't want to answer questions about my personal life from strangers. While you're not being an a-hole for not telling people you're pregnant because you don't want people asking personal questions, you kind of are being an a-hole for getting a kick out of it. While it is funny to see people mortified about that question and they shouldn't ask you the question in the first place, that's kind of a jerk move to do and to enjoy seeing somebody be terrified at you saying no. Am I the a-hole for trying to reunite what I am certain is a set of identical, separated at birth, twins? In 2017, I moved in with 2 roommates from Craigslist in their mid-20s, Heather and Jeff. I lived with them for a little under a year. Heather was on the shyer, more reserved side and not easy to talk to, but we got along well. I moved out just over a year ago, about 20 miles away, and I hadn't seen her since, though we were still friends on Facebook. Recently, I joined a new gym. My second time there, and I was surprised to see someone who I instantly recognized as Heather behind the front desk. This was surprising as she lived 20 miles away, but I was absolutely certain it was her. I said, "Heather, good to see you again." She gave me a really funny stare and told me she's not Heather. Her voice sounded just like Heather as well. She told me her name was Maddie, and it was clear she didn't recognize me. I walked away feeling super embarrassed and puzzled. That girl looked, sounded, and acted identical to Heather in every way, shape, and form, to a degree that is impossible to be a simple coincidence. I pondered things in my mind, and on my way out approached Maddie. I asked her, "Sorry if this is too personal, but I'm wondering, are you adopted by any chance?" She responded that she is, but she hasn't made any effort to find her bio family. I told her that I strongly suspect that I know her identical twin sister and explained things to her. I showed a picture of Heather on my phone to her, and to my surprise, she didn't act at all impressed, just giving me a simple, okay. I told her I have Heather's number, am friends with her on Facebook, have her address, and would be happy to connect them. And she responded disinterestedly, "No thanks." I'm gonna stop you right there, OP. It is obvious this woman is not interested in anything you have to say about her being adopted or her having a twin sister. Since I have an idea of where this is going and it seems like you're just going to harass him about it, I'm going to say right now, you absolutely are the a-hole. This woman told you she had no interest in finding her bio family, so she doesn't need you cramming that down her throat. I called Heather later and explained things to her, and she, too, seemed disinterested. Alright, then you should leave it alone. It's not your business. I found Maddie's profile on Facebook by searching people who work at name of my gym, and texted Heather photos of her, but still she acted disinterested. I've met Heather's parents and they strongly resemble her, so I suspect that Heather's mom had an extra baby, Maddie, that she gave up for adoption and never told her about. Both women are not interested in this. You need to give it up. It is none of your business. Just leave it alone. I continued going to the gym, and almost every time I went, Maddie would be there. Every time I saw Heather's exact double, it would continue to bug me. I feel like I discovered something really amazing and groundbreaking, and it's going unappreciated. It's not going unappreciated. You didn't discover something, people already knew about it, and they're not interested in it. Just give it up, please. You're like harassing these women at this point. I added Maddie on Facebook and she accepted. Maybe she didn't know it was me, since I have the mascot for a beloved baseball team of mine instead of a picture of myself as my profile picture. Having both girls as friends, I messaged both of them in a... See, this is where it gets creepy and stalkerish and you need to just stop. I messaged both of them into a 3-way Facebook chat, friendly, forcing them to interact with each other. Keyword being forcing, and you shouldn't be forcing anybody to do anything. I was promptly blocked by both of them, good on them, and don't know how things turned out. I'm pretty nervous to go to the gym and considering looking for a new one. Was I the a-hole to try and reunite these girls who I'm positive are twins? Yes, they are uninterested. You are shoving your opinion down their throat, an opinion that they don't even care about. Am I the a-hole for not letting my fiance drive my car after 3 accidents? My fiance has been in 3 accidents in the past 14 months. After just reading that, I'm gonna say no, you're not the a-hole whatsoever. I don't even let my boyfriend drive my car now, and he hasn't been in any accidents. So of course I don't think you're the a-hole for not letting him drive your car after 3 accidents in less than a year and a half. The first he pulled out of a side road without looking and got T-boned. The second time someone was too close to his lane while turning and he swiped them. The third time he hit a deer head on, possibly going too fast, and his car is now totaled. I have a car I'm still paying on with only a year and a half left. I'm able to work from home if needed, so he asked if he could borrow my car to get to and from work this week. I told him no, as he has been in this many accidents and I'm not comfortable with him taking my car, especially because I'm on a shared policy with my parents still, and I don't want their insurance to go up either. Plus, I'm still paying on my car. I offered to drive him to and from work this week, which would unfortunately require me to drive 2 hours a day. He is beyond angry with me and keeps trying to start fights over this, when it's only been 2 days since he has totaled his car. Am I the a-hole? Edit. To add, the first accident was the only one deemed his fault by police and insurance. He may genuinely be getting a streak of bad luck. I think he might be picking fights because he is so stressed about now needing a new car. Not okay to pick fights no matter what, but felt the need to explain a little more. As I said before, you're not the a-hole for not letting him drive your car. It is your car. He has been in 3 accidents in the past 14 months, which, in all honesty, based on what you've said, I would think they're all his fault. 1, he didn't look when he came out of a side road. 2, if somebody was too close to his lane, he shouldn't have turned. And 3, I've been in a car many times where a deer has ran out in the middle of the road, and every single time we've been able to stop. So I really don't understand how he could have hit the deer unless he was going way too fast and wasn't paying attention. And again, most of the time, roads with deer on them aren't that fast, and if they are, you should probably be paying attention, especially at night if you're driving. Alright everyone, that's all I have for you today. As I said before, please don't forget to leave us a comment letting us know what you think, whether these people are the a-holes in your opinion, and also feel free to take our poll. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe go check out some of our other videos.